I'd like to welcome everyone to video 2 of the Wizard Primer. Today we're looking at Shock Pulse. Shock Pulse is your second signature spell. It shoots out 3 bolts of lightning across the ground in a random pattern. Shock Pulse is a mid-range ability. It's shorter than Magic Missile. It doesn't even go full screen. And it hits a giant area for okay damage. Shock Pulse does not have any legendaries associated to it directly, so we'll just get into looking at the abilities. Okay, so explosive bolts, they'll make enemies explode when they die. I don't actually know if I'll be able to do this in Torment 6 because I don't have cold plus the cold damage, which means I'm just going to be sitting here and smacking these guys around until one of them blows up. That was not one of them blowing up. That was... There we go. It makes these little ice explosions when enemies die. When enemies die. When enemies die. Please die. Firebolts ups the damage by a lot, changes the damage to fire. Piercing Orb completely changes what Shock Pulse does. It makes it a very long range projectile that sort of wanders back and forth. Piercing Orb, way back in 1.0, was an absolutely killer ability, because it would just fill the screen with the orbs. Now, it's actually kind of ho-hum because of the way the game is. Oh, booby. Yeah, let's use some unoptimized attacks. See if we can get back to West March before I get hit. And I'm back in West March. Running away with the tail between your legs. Power Affinity changes the damage to Arcane, and every enemy hit gains you 2 Arcane power. This is actually, for the versions of Shock Pulse so far, these all have, at least these 3, have some pretty significant proc rates. Piercing Orb and Living Lightning are probably lower, but Living Lightning has an abysmally low proc rate because of what it was back in 1.0. Living Lightning sort of gives you these jerkily animated lightning figures at an extraordinarily short range, but they tend to hit a lot. You'll see lots of numbers pop off of whatever you hit. We'll see if we can't get something simple and easy. Come on, take him over. Take him over. Ah! Oh, there we go. If you look, you'll see lots and lots of little numbers. Owie. But all in all, it is not that fantastic an ability, really. So, Shock Pulse. That's pretty much Shock Pulse. Shock Pulse works as a good group hitting ability. And if you need procs from Power Affinity or Magic Weapon Conduit, these 3 will actually serve you well. And they can fit across 3 different builds. The one thing to note is if you want the bolts in lightning, you're going to have to go unruned. And really that's not terrible because all it is, these are basically changes to the damage and the AoEs, and this is just to regenerate arcane power. And the ability in and of itself is not actually a terrible single target ability because when enemies are really close to you, you can actually get them with all 3 bolts. And that's one of the advantages of this ability, is 3 bolts can hit 1 enemy. Piercing Orb, if you want a very hard to hit but long range lightning spell, works. Living Lightning is for close range. But I personally think Spectral Blade, which we'll cover in the next video, is a little better than Living Lightning if you want to get up close and personal with enemies. So, next video we'll do Spectral Blade. I hope everyone enjoyed this. Thanks for watching.